Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 5, Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. Arjuna inquired, "O Krishna, first of all, you ask me to renounce work, and then again you recommend work with devotion. Now will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial?" The personality of Godhead replied, "The renunciation of work and work in devotional service are both good for liberation, but of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. One who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities is known to be always renounced. Such a person, free from all dualities, easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated, O mighty armed Arjuna." Only the ignorant speak of devotional service, karma yoga, as being different from the analytical study of the material world, Sankhya. But those who are actually learned say that one who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results of both. Those who know that the position reached by analytical study can also be attained by devotional service, and who therefore sees analytical study and devotional service to be on the same level, sees things as they are. Merely renouncing all activities, yet not engaging in devotional service of the Lord, cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can attain the Supreme without delay. A person who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a person is never entangled. A person in the divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping, and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, or opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the senses are engaged with their objects and that he is aloof from them. One who performs his duties without attachment, surrendering the results to the Supreme, is unaffected by sinful reactions, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. The yogis, abandoning attachment, act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses, only for the purpose of purification. The steadily devoted souls are sure to attain unadulterated peace, because they offer the fruits of their works unto me. But those who are not in union with the divine, who are greedy for the fruits of their labor, become entangled. The embodied spirit, when the embodied living being is able to control his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. Nor does the Supreme Lord assume anyone's sinful or pious activities. The living being, however, is bewildered because of ignorance, which covers the real knowledge. When, however, one is enlightened with the knowledge by which nations is destroyed, then his knowledge reveals to him everything, as the sun lights up everything in a daytime. When one's intelligence, faith, mind, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of all misgivings through complete knowledge, and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. The humble sages, by the virtue of divine knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog and a dog-eater, outcast. Those whose minds are fixed in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahman. A person who neither rejoices upon gaining something pleasant, nor laments upon achieving something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, unbewildered, and who knows the science of God, is already situated in transcendence. Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasures, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of miseries, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. Before giving up this present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the senses and check the force of desire and anger, he is well situated and is happy in this world. One whose happiness is within, who is active and rejoices within, and whose aim is inward, is actually a perfect mystic. He is situated in the Supreme, and ultimately he attains the Supreme. Those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living entities, and who are free from all sins, attain to the Supreme. Those who are free from anger and dualities, who are self-realized, self-controlled, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future. Shutting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths within the nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence. The transcendentalist, aiming at liberation, become free from desire, fear, and anger. Those who are always situated in this state is certainly liberated. One who knows me as a person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material misery.